Welcome to Mary Alice.
What did you do?
We are a Desperate Housewives recap podcast with me, Erin McGee.
And me, Jakub Tanzi. Two best friends breaking down each episode until we answer the ultimate question, Mary Alice, what did you do?
Unless, of course, we have finished season 1, in which case, insert new mystery here.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack on Wisteria Lane.
Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
So get comfortable and let's get into this week's episode.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, we did it at the same time. Jump scare.
How are you doing? Thank you for being patient with me this morning. I have been in a very chaotic situation, so.
Yeah, do you want to unload about that? This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. It's a really good thing. It's just, I've done it again.
Oops, and I did it again.
What another one? Because I did. I was meant to go to jousting at the weekend, and Rory had a weird feeling we shouldn't go. Which is fine, because he is with me. And one thing about me is, I'm going to trust someone's feeling. If it's I think this person might be pregnant. I'm the person that's like, you're so right. I am the dream person for if somebody is stuck in a time loop. Because if you come to me and say, Erin, I'm stuck in a time loop, I believe you immediately. Let's go. You say that you're from the future? Fine, let's go. I am so yes and with that. And he went, yeah, I've just got this weird feeling we shouldn't go. Let's go instead.
Oh, a man with a plan.
To the Lothian Cat Rescue Open Day. We obviously won't be getting a cat. We'll just be playing the tombola. We'll just be, seeing how things go. And we immediately both fell in love with the kitten. It was so weird how it all happened as well. So essentially, we had this huge queue for the kitten pens because obviously everybody wants to see kittens. And Rory said he went to look at something, came back to meet me in the queue, and he went, I knew she would have made friends. And now she yapping away to this other woman about her pet that had passed away in September and this other girl. And I was just chatting away. And I was like, but we're not getting a cat. And then Rory said that throughout the course of the day, including the bus on the way there, I went from, in no world are we getting a cat, to... Well, I can't see a scenario where we get a cat, but I'm open to the potential. We've been wanting a second cat for a little while because we have Maggie, who is the sweetest little girl, and we have chosen. This is controversial, Jakub. I don't know if you know, but cat people are. It's like parents. If you just like talking about parenting, you're gonna get people in the comments. Maggie is a garden cat, is how I would describe her. She's not indoor, she is not outdoor. She is harness trained. She goes in the garden. That to some people is insanity. That to other people is the bare minimum. Do with that what you will. It is how I have chosen to raise my child. My only caveat to that is in order to give her a fuller life, I thought keeping her indoors without a friend was cruel. Especially because she is such a social cat. Now, I want you to remember that I said this before. I want you to remember exactly what I'm saying and hear it echo back. In fact, Jakub, could you do a little play over? Like a little... She's a very social, sweet cat. Enter the new cat. So, I think I'm bang on hour 48 of them having met each other at this point. So this is fresh. This process for some people takes weeks. This process for some people takes months. This process for some people online, they're like, oh, they just instantly loved each other. To which I say, go to hell. Maggie did not instantly fall in love with Monty. Monty has instantly fallen in love with Maggie. And in fact, when she hisses and growls at him, he's like, so funny. So funny,
no.
So cute. That's so nice.
I bet I don't seem too scary to Maggie now.
There was a big noise in our house, and he ran upstairs to her so she would protect him. And she was like, I'm not your mother. Get the hell out of here. But yes, I have a new baby. His name is Monty. He is a boy. He is 11 weeks old, which is a week younger than we got Max. And he knows it. He is very much a cat's cat. He wants to be with her. She's a human cat. She thinks she's a person.
But I feel like that's normal even with human children sometimes. Kids, when there's a second child, it's like, what the fuck is going on in this here day?
Yes, but the issue is that children don't have claws. Like, imagine if Booby gave... So, I get twins. So, we'll do the same age gap. I get a 3-month-old and a 6-month-old. And I give them both knives. And I put them in a room together. Now, bearing in mind, they both can walk at this point. In this
Episode
scenario.
title, Erin gives a 4-month-old knives.
Erin, Erin, let's give babies knives.
Hot take.
And I stand by it.
And I've always said that.
I always said that.
Well, I've been to Madrid.
Yes. You have.
That's been my main chat, so I'll keep it brief. I went to see BTS, obviously. Was queuing in the sun, the boiling Madrid sun for hours, hating my life.
Did you wear sunscreen?
I
Like I told you to?
I was very good with sunscreen, so I was
boy.
all good. I was just so tired and unhyped. My back was sore. My feet were sore. I was like, I'm getting too old for this lifestyle. I can't be doing the traveling for concerts life anymore. You know, they came on stage they were like 10, 15 minutes late because of some incident happening in the arena that I didn't know about. And I was just so like, I was like starting to regret spending all the money just for a quick dose of nostalgia. And then I saw them and I started sobbing uncontrollably immediately. I was gone. My back pain disappeared. My feet were grand. They cured me magically.
They performed miracles.
Yeah. It was the best moment of my life, Erin. I genuinely, like, through the whole bloody thing, me and my friend I was with there, we just kept looking at each other and tearing up for like the full 2 hours. And then in terms of the surprise songs, we got, now this will mean nothing to you, Erin, but all my army out there, which is the BTS fandom name, we got
Thank you.
Yeah, we got Microcosmos and Best of Me. Thank you for the appropriate gasp.
Honestly, I'm so happy for you because I could tell that you were having.
And do you know what? I was walking on the last night in Madrid back to the accommodation. It was so nice and warm. I just had a lovely holiday, and I was just walking, and all I could think was, I am so happy in life right now. Like the whole last month has been absolutely such a treat, and I'm just so happy. And then immediately I became terrified because now I'm scared of losing everything.
Well, I think that's such a true thing. I've had that. In fact, last week, I mean, I cry all the time, but so that caveat has to be in place. But I was with Maggie and Rory, and we were watching something on TV, and she was playing with her wand, and we were chatting, and I was just like, this is everything I wished for since I was a little kid. Like, I just have this safe home, and it's nice, and there's this beautiful little being here, and I'm with love of my life. Oh, good God. What do I do if I lose it? And then, you're going to have to have a word with yourself because things don't stay the same forever, but they become brilliant in different ways. You're so happy now because you were happy before and things changed. So, it's, yeah.
Okay, well, we are on our second free Zoom meeting now because we filled up the entire first one with preambles. So I think it's time we talked about Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, I'm ready. I have a cup of tea, I have a water, I have my current drink of choice, which is Sprite with a little bit of cherry juice in it.
Ooh, spicy.
I know. And speaking of, I also have with me, just in case it's been a rough time, a mango margarita.
Slay. I love those little moth cocktail cans.
Big moth.
Big moth.
If you're listening.
So this is episode 21 of season 2. It's called I Know Things Now.
And everybody does know things.
Yeah.
This is the episode of the lads, and I'm not happy about it.
I'm so glad. I think we're going to be aligned on that, and that sparks joy for me. Also, it's all bangers here on out, as far as I'm aware. I've watched the next one as well, and they're both just really good episodes where a lot of big stuff happens. So lock in, people. Let's go.
Calling all desperados.
Are you enjoying the pod?
Want to access our episodes early and support Erin and I to keep the show running?
Well, now you can.
Over at patreon.com/modded, you can support the show for as little as £3 a month.
Why, Jakub, that's less than the price of the coffees that keep us coherent during records.
Truly, no joke. You can get a shout out from us here, access episodes a whole day earlier than everyone else, and even get access to occasional bonus watch along episodes.
Ooh.
We're aiming for monthly.
But no pressure. Seriously.
We love you either way.
It's just there if you're looking for a way to show your appreciation and help us keep doing what we do.
Want to support the show for free? Tell a friend.
Tell your mother.
Tell your aunt who you know loves Desperate Housewives.
Tell your therapist.
Tell your ex-boyfriend.
No, do not break no contact. But tell anyone who might enjoy our ramblings.
And leaving a review helps more than you know.
We love you, desperados.
That's patreon.com/modded. MAWDYD.
Now, back to the episode.
Mary Alice voiceover doubles down.
Alice voiceover.
You heard it here first, folks. She doubles down on the success of Private Investigator number 3, or Oliver Weston, and essentially explains to us that he stopped believing in love a long time ago after successfully investigating so many cheating husbands. He's now in the bushes, present day, recording Susan and Carl's conversation from across the street covertly. Unfortunately, these bushes belong to Mike, who clearly still has feelings for Susan and essentially punches Oliver in the face. Now,
I didn't interpret it that way in any way.
okay.
I had that Mike is mad that someone is a better detective than him, so lashes out immediately.
Okay, well, my point stands regardless of which way you interpret it. Because, so look, don't get me wrong. Oliver was saying some like derogatory, nasty stuff about Susan and women in general. But something
Taking
I've
pictures
realized.
of her without her permission.
Yeah. But something I've realized in this episode is that Mike is a very violent man.
Yes.
Because he resorts to punching and physical violence so quickly in a lot of situations. He punched Jimron, he punched Oliver. I can't remember any more off the top of my head, but I promise you he's been out here punching. He's been in these streets.
He's been out here punching.
His fists can't stop him.
I think this is part of their way of showing that Mike used to be a bad boy. Like, he can't help like that instinct still in him to
I mean,
punch
yeah, I
first
kind
and
of
ask
just took
questions
that
later.
to mean that,
But
and that he's just all
get him in there.
macho and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm like, nah.
Get him in therapy.
Nah, you mean you're a like boring vanilla man and you're gonna go around punching people? Sir.
No, he needs therapy. He needs therapy.
Did not enjoy that.
Lads.
Here we fucking go.
If I had a TV show, I would have the theme tune end and here we fucking go.
Here we.
Yeah, imagine you get the recap and then it just goes, here we fucking go. You're like, oh, I'm locked in.
Mary
I'm locked
Alice
in.
voiceover says, here we fucking go. Yes.
Yes. Yes. No Scotland, no party. Mary Alice voiceover. Every family has a way of hiding what it doesn't want seen. And we see a montage of homes. I actually really liked the bookends of this. When it first started, this voiceover, I kind of didn't realize where it was going. And then with the end of the episode, loved it. Whether it's with a picture that covers a stain on the wall or with a closet door that conceals the chaos inside, or artificial smiles that mask years of pain and heartache. Every family goes to great lengths to hide ugly truths. Some, of course, go further than others. Jakub, would you say that's true? / what do you have covered up in your house?
I mean,
Which is like a picture that covers a stain on the wall.
no, because it's all still fresh.
It's all a fresh lick of paint. I have some marks. My nice new build has there's some stains.
We'll get there on my end. Trust.
We'll get there. Okay. Betty is getting ice cream out, which we know is Caleb's weakness. It's basically Caleb catnip. Matthew and Betty are discussing how Betty is going to murder Caleb. She has this romantic idea, I think, in her head. Oh, well, I don't think it's romantic. I think in her head, it's like a romanticized idea of it, where it's really humane with like a nice picnic and all of his favorite foods for his last day, which is what people do when they're putting down a pet.
Yep.
Which again,
I also
really
thought that.
freaks me out. And it's got that kind of parallel. We've said before that Betty kind of treats Caleb like a pet, like a wild animal, and it's really bizarre. Betty is clearly sitting at the dissociation station, I would say, until Matthew is bringing up the logistics of the body. And she starts to cry. And he is trying to explain to her that they don't necessarily have to do this, but he is still not telling the truth. He's willing for his brother to be murdered over this.
Yeah, he really did not seem concerned enough. There was a little flicker of something in his expression or his moment, which clearly he was feeling a little amount of conflict or remorse or something internally, but not enough, not an appropriate amount.
I would say in this episode, there's a theme of making things even and justice and the scales evening out. Like I'm picturing the
100%.
feather and the heart. There's 100% that. Like everything in this episode feels like we're making things equal.
And that's why it's such a fun episode, because it dots a lot of I's, it crosses a lot of T's. It just like really makes things feel like they're coming round full circle.
Yeah, and speaking of eyes, it feels very an eye for an eye.
Yes.
And the repercussions of that.
So we're now at... Oh, sorry, did you have more to say?
No, sorry,
Okay.
I just opened my mouth.
Very good. So we're now...
Thank you, sweetie. Very good. Very good, Erin.
Gold star.
Thanks.
So we're now at the picnic. It's just Caleb and Betty. Kind of wild that Matthew's not there, actually. But sure. They're out by the lake. Caleb is eating the ice cream. He's getting into it. And Caleb thinks that Matthew is mad at him because of what happened with Danielle in the previous episode, and essentially lets slip unknowingly that Matthew was behind it all. Betty grabs his wrist and stops him from eating anymore, and the tone shifts a lot as she begins to press him for information, and the truth presumably comes to light.
Betty's face just fills with absolute venom. And I'm obsessed with it.
It's beautiful.
This is the protective mother. This isn't the supervillain. This is this is much more interesting to me. And it's also really, really sad. The color grading of this scene is so bleak and dark that she was this close. Oh, it doesn't bear thinking about. Let's circle back to what we were just saying about justice and making things even.
Yep.
Betty comes home and Matthew asks if it's done. Betty says that they can mourn Caleb later, but right now there are things to be done, and leads him down into the basement under the guise of getting rid of Caleb's belongings. But surprise! She locks Matthew in the very same room that Caleb has been kept in. Matthew is beating the door, but Betty very coldly walks away, and we see Caleb, who did not die, in the car outside.
Yeah. Look, I still don't condone keeping your children, especially black children, chained up in the basement. But this was a fun twist, a fun switcheroo. Yeah. It was like chills. I love this.
I got full body chills. And again, there's something about, yeah, you're right. It's not okay to do this to your other child either. But there is this idea of he is... It presents the idea of should he have been the one in there all along?
Yeah, and I mean, they've done enough now to paint Matthew as the real villain of the Applewhites. And so it feels not justified, but more justified, other than like compared to Caleb, who's just a sweet, innocent person.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm on board.
It's wild. It is absolutely wild. But also, I don't know how Betty is going to live with what she nearly did and how she's been treating Matthew this
I think
whole time.
she's justified a lot to herself already. I think she'll cope.
She's fine. She's got a piano and a
Yeah,
dream.
exactly. That's all a girl needs.
Yeah.
So that was
Those
it
are
for
the Applewhites.
Applewhite. Short and sweet,
And
like poisoned ice cream.
But still, very good. I think this arc was good and it felt satisfying.
Yes, it's the best Applewhite episode I've seen since the poker episode.
Yes, I would agree.
So we're now on to Gabby. This is probably...
Whose arc I could not stand.
Yeah, this was my least favorite arc of the episode. So let's just get through it, guys. We're in it together.
We're in it together. We're going to talk fast.
The girls are comforting Gabby after baby Lily was taken away the other week. For us, or you know what I mean, last episode. She's talking about her options, having frozen some eggs, etc., but isn't really ready to go through anything again right now. And loads of people have brought her food-based condolences that Gabby has no appetite for, so she's like encouraging the other women to take it, and they're all overly polite. But I am Edie in this situation, who goes straight in for that pie, and it's like, you offered, girl, I'm taking some of this food.
Yes. Almost every scene in this episode starts with food.
Oh, I didn't clock that, but yeah, you're right.
So there's
ice
like
cream.
the ice cream, and then here, and then there's Brie making the frittata, and then there's Susan bringing over the pie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Zhao Mei is also here, and she's getting upset in the background and presents Gabby with a letter from ICE informing her that she will be deported. And my first thought was, well, good thing this was not set today, because there would be no letter sent. You know what? I'm not delving into that hole, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And also, Gabby and Carlos would not be safe either.
yeah, it would be a very quiet lane, quite frankly.
A super quiet lane.
So we then discover a mountain of similar letters, which Zhao Mei has clearly been sweeping under the rug, along with her other cleaning of the house, I guess. Gabby is also stressed by this, as I guess she's already lost another baby, and she can't lose her housekeeper too, you know. And
It just made it a bit interesting. Like it's rare that I have anything negative to say about Lynette, but I thought Lynette asking about another adoption so soon after this woman has lost 2 children within a year feels so like, give her some time.
I will say
people.
that Gabby seemed to be coping well in this scene.
Even so, you know, it's not. Babies aren't like you get a hole in your jumper, so you buy a new one.
Fair.
You know. And again, we see, I'm not saying we should have had another arc of Gabby grieving. I don't think any of us could have emotionally handled that. But she does feel quite indifferent.
Yeah, I mean, she could
And that's
be
not a
in
judgment.
like one of those phases where it's like denial or I don't know, whatever. But
Where's her balloon?
where's her balloon? Bring that man back who's in the movies.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Trio?
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce words.
In any case, Zhao Mei is worried that if she's sent home to China, that her uncle will sell her again.
Sell her again.
Crazy. So Gabby
Crazy.
promises her that they'll figure out a way to keep her around.
Has anyone seen Parks and Recreation?
Yes, miss.
Because Jerry Gergich from Parks and Recreation is here, aka Jim O'Hare.
What a lovely treat that was.
That really was. And he explains to Gabby and Carlos that Zhao Mei missed all of her appeal deadlines. It's not looking good. But unless she has a child who's an American citizen, it's not going to happen. And Gabby asks, what if she were pregnant with an American citizen? And it feels very, I know something that could help. Na, na, na. And then jump cut. Like it feels very camp. It's very camp. And I don't mean that in a good way.
No, yeah, we're kind of flip-flopping on the tone of Gabby getting a baby plot lines.
Mm-hmm. This is bad camp. This is Camp Hennessy.
Oh. Love that callback. We're now back home. The Solises try to present this idea they've concocted to Xiao Mei, painting it as their solution to keep her in the country. She struggles to understand due to the language barrier, it seems, and Gabby uses some metaphor about cooking dumplings and her being the oven, which really freaks Xiao Mei out, and she runs off screaming, "No, baby!" I did laugh a lot when Carlos was on about, well, you know, all the expenses would be covered, and of course you wouldn't have to do any housework. And then Gabby has a really nervous laugh, well, you know, maybe a little light dusting. That cracked me up.
This scene is played as a comedy, and I get it. We're all having a nice fun time. This is a horror movie for Xiao Mei.
Oh, 100%.
100%. And I'm tired of pretending it's not. They say the law says you can only stay if you have our baby. That's what they say to her. She rightly freaks the hell out. And Carlos and Gabby have the audacity to look shocked that she said no. Gabby's like, I don't know what her problem is. That's the kind of look that she gives. What are we doing? Anyway.
Oh, this arc has so many scenes.
This arc has so many scenes, and they're all gross. Gabby comes in being all gross with a hot chocolate for Xiao Mei, which probably tastes gross. And is very, very, very emotionally manipulative and gross. Yep. I hate this storyline. She basically tries to work out why Xiao Mei is saying no. And it becomes apparent that Xiao Mei is worried about her being ruined and being a virgin and then getting a husband one day who doesn't want her because she is in some way ruined, which is bananas. Gabby explains that virginity went out of fashion in the 50s in America and it isn't coming back.
Gabby says no to slut shaming.
If only she knew. If only she knew where it was going. Yikes.
Big yikes.
Yikes. Big yikes. She explains that rich men, and Xiao Mei wants a rich man, doesn't she? They wouldn't marry a virgin. They want an experienced woman. And we're family, aren't we? Like, it's so bad. And Xiao Mei says that she thinks of Gabby as a mother, which is crazy because Gabby's mum offered to be a surrogate as well.
Yes, that was my note for this, like a weird parallel of not wanting the mum to be a surrogate. Oh, yeah.
It is so gross.
Yeah.
And it's so exploitative. And again, in my opinion, neither Gabby, but mainly Carlos, has learned the lesson of why he was going to go to jail in the first place for this kind of exploitation of migrants who are incredibly vulnerable.
Very that. So.
And guess what? It only gets worse. Hey, kids, don't worry. It gets worse.
Let me tell you about that right now. So Carlos has slept in for their appointment with the fertility clinic. Gabby is ready though, so she's hurrying him up and telling him to hurry up Xiao Mei as well. We then see Carlos finishing getting ready in their ensuite to head out when Xiao Mei comes into their bedroom and, having completely misunderstood how they were planning to get her pregnant, gets naked and climbs into their bed, essentially having understood that they were asking her to let Carlos have sex with her to get her pregnant. Crazy. Gabby comes in and it's a whole awkward moment and Carlos is truly just staring, and it reminded me a lot of Tom with the nanny, and I was like,
yes, I wrote that.
Yeah, and my immediate thought was, oh, Erin is not going to be enjoying this. Not that you would like any of this arc, but especially that when I thought of the nanny.
No, I immediately thought of the nanny. It's the staring. It's the fact Carlos follows her into their bedroom. He doesn't immediately go get Gabby. Oh, and worst of all in this scene, Gabby's blouse.
That is the worst crime here.
That is the worst crime. That weird peachy orange blouse. I hate it. She looks like she's about to redact my rights in that outfit. You know?
We'll
post a screenshot. We'll post a screenshot. Maybe I'm on one today. I'm a mother of two. I don't have time to be nice. So, Carlos and Gabby are at the clinic, and Carlos is wondering why Xiaomei thought the way she did. And Gabby explains. A great line, potentially a quote of the week. Honey, she's a virgin. Who knows why virgins do anything?
Now, it's a great quote, but it is absolutely not the correct quote to pick for quote of the week.
Oh, it was a contender.
Yes.
It is not my quote of the week.
Yes.
Do not worry, sir. You are in safe hands with me.
I think we're in the same place this week with it. There's a clear winner.
Oh, yeah. Carlos looks weirdly interested in the fact that she is a virgin. Let's talk about how disgusting that is for a moment. The weird fetishization of taking someone's virginity like that, as if that's something that you can hold. I hate it. And it's seen so much in media of men being obsessed with virgins. Right. Carlos then goes to make his deposit and says he doesn't need the inspirational material that the clinic will provide. While looking at Xiaomei, it's so messed up. It's so messed up.
What a fun little comedy arc.
And he has really pushed Gabby into having a child. Really pushed her. He messed with her birth control the first time. The second time, he was basically saying, we have to do this, otherwise our marriage won't survive. The third time, she has been the one to steer, I'd say, a little bit more. But bring it, even take the Xiaomei out of it aside, bringing your child into the world when you're thinking about someone else is so bizarre.
I just want this arc to be over.
I want Carlos to be over this episode. I was like, close casket. Dump it at the bottom of the river.
Can we talk about Lynette in another bad husband situation?
Although my quote of the week is in this scene.
Oh, we have different quotes of the week. Fascinating.
That's exciting. I wonder if sometimes I think, with quote of the week, what mood am I in? What moment?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into it.
Let's talk about Lynette.
I really related to Tom in this first scene, I will say.
I knew you would. I heard him say his line towards the end of the scene, and I went, that is so
I just clocked what your quote of the week is, actually. So Lynette is buttering up Tom with mac and cheese before revealing that Ed wants to throw him under the bus for the sexting of his wife from last episode. Basically, Lynette makes it clear that he has to be the perfect employee until it blows over, not to bend any rules, always do his assignments on time, not show up to work late, etc. And this is where I relate to Tom on a spiritual level, because he feels victimized for having to do the job that he was hired for.
And is paid to do.
And
the job he begged for. Sometimes
it be like that, though. Sometimes you go to work and you just think, I have to do this.
I'm over it.
And I get it. So I really, I really had high hopes for Tom in this arc, in this scene. I was like, oh, Tom, I'm going to really be on board with him this episode. Unfortunately, it does not go there. But I'll enjoy it while it lasts.
I think that's the correct take, because I had a similar feeling where I went, am I going to like Tom and hate Carlos? Half right.
I think Tom's still better than Carlos in this episode, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe not as a husband, but as a person.
Similar to Betty giving her son the best last day, this felt like Tom being given the best last day from Lynette by opening the wine and giving him mac and cheese. And it's just Doug Savant's delivery of, because again, I say this a lot about Terry Hatcher. I don't know if I say this a lot about Tom. I have no qualms with the actor who plays Tom. He's quite funny sometimes, particularly when he says, honey, you just served me a plate of full fat Gouda.
That is not the quote I was expecting. I think the delivery matters a lot for you because quite often when you come out with your quote of the week, I'm just like, oh.
I have the same thing with you when you say the line and I go, that's what you chose? And this explains why we don't date the same men.
Yeah, 100%.
Both of us going, that's what you chose?
Yeah.
But what's really funny is I thought that he takes the mac and cheese and runs away. I really enjoyed that. So it's time for Tom to present his ideas, and I feel sorry for him because Ed asks for him to distill it into 3 words. Now, Tom uses dumb words. I believe he says, toys are fun. But Ed hates it. He then says he will be taking over that account. It is really funny. This whole scene's quite funny.
It was the immediacy of it. 3 words, and he's trying to sell toys. He's like, okay, toys are fun. Hate it. Immediately. Oh my God, I was laughing really loud.
This arc is quite funny.
Until it's not.
So, until it's not. So Ed says he's going to take over the account and that furthermore, he's hired a forensic accountant to go through everybody's expense claims and anything fishy will be an automatic unfair dismissal. And we see Tom have quite a scared reaction to this. He looks fear. And Ed then says that they will be starting with Tom. So it's clear that Ed is targeting Tom.
Yeah.
And I also get the sense that this is the type of company where it's quite normal to kind of fluff your expenses a teeny tiny bit.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that have work establishments like that where it's quite common that, you know, there's a culture of, oh, it's fine if you add this on. It's fine if you add this on.
Then it comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yes. Much like when you were talking about you relating to Tom in the first scene, I just want to say for my employer, I don't feel that way. In fact, I relish in hard work and getting there on time and doing all of my duties. And in fact, it was my dream since a little girl to be an effective team member. Thank you.
I've walked past you on the street at 9:20, both of us coffee in hand. I know what's up.
I have meetings. I have places to be.
We now cut to very shortly after Tom and Lynette are debriefing in her office. Tom seems to almost be sort of conceding and suggesting that he just quit. And when Lynette wants to go talk to Ed, Tom is also resistant to this. He says he doesn't want to hide behind his wife's skirt and stuff. And it was only when I watched this back the second time that I understood why Tom was so resistant, actually, in this situation to confront Ed after the whole expenses accountant chat. But we'll get there. That's it. That's the scene.
Yeah, I quite liked the energy from Lynette here. She is so going, we're a team. Let's see what we can do. He can't fire me. Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll do this. And when Tom asks for his idea first, Lynette says, okay. And it kind of brought me back to that conversation where she said, you know, you want to drive? Drive. If you drive, I will let you drive. And I thought this was a really nice, clear example of her taking that on board.
Yeah.
Also, talking man to man. Crazy. Don't make me sick. I have never in my life uttered the words talking women to women. We then see the silent conversation between Ed and Tom. Ed comes out from his desk and Lynette is going to just make a simple phone call and we see Tom almost immediately punch Ed in the face. So much violence in this episode.
Lads. Episode title, lads. Lime.
This could be
lads.
Oh, I already hate in advance me typing lads.
We need to Photoshop a picture of all the guys with like caps on or something. Like, okay. So Lynette comes out. And Tom admits he thinks he just gave Ed cause. Where this arc is going, it seems quite obvious to me, and even on the first watch, and I didn't know where it was going, that Tom has given Ed a reason on purpose.
because of his reaction to the accounting, that he was so insistent about him being the one to take care of it. And I think if we saw them have a longer conversation, I wouldn't have been suspicious. But Tom to just jump in with the fist. I do wonder if we saw Mike punch someone in the beginning to somewhat normalize the violence so that we could have, I'm being serious, so that we could have a greater reveal at the end.
I hate it.
But I think that's what it was. I think they were like, oh, Mike punches someone, Tom punches someone. Because I think if we didn't have that scene, maybe some viewers would be more like, Tom doesn't do that.
Yeah.
That's so random for Tom to do.
Well, in the next scene, Ed, I think, is very kind of contradictory. Actually, I think this is a Fred scene. Ed has left the building. This is Fred.
Pure Fred.
Yeah.
Ed's at home with his wife.
Fran. And they're doing the nipple thing. So he gets Lynette.
Ed's having nipple replacement surgery.
Episode title.
We can't keep having our episode titles be about these teeny tiny minor characters. I don't think you guys realize at home, I had to stop Jakub from having like 8 episodes in a row that were titles about Big Bad Barn.
And I stand by that. So Fred gets Lynette in his office, who is clearly mad at him for pushing Tom out because of his own struggling marriage, yada, yada. Ed shows her essentially that the forensic accountant basically found a bunch of expenses that would imply that Tom has been having an affair while he's been off on business trips. He then kind of rubs it in her face like, why don't you take a look at your own marriage first? As if he didn't use Lynette to help his own last episode. And I don't know, I just thought it was a weird, contradictory, like, this is unnecessary. Anyway, but...
Yeah, I feel like he has the same problem with Lynette that Tom does. Lynette is a strong woman and she knows what she thinks and she knows her worth. And a lot of men's response to Lynette is extremely defensive because they assume her being confident means she's on her high horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in any case, if it didn't clock with people watching the episode earlier, it's very clear at this moment that this is why Tom was so anti-confronting Ed earlier. Mm-hmm. I'm in this stupid category, so I only realised it now.
You're not stupid. I think some things I loved about this scene, I really loved Lynette in this whole arc. I think this is a great episode for Lynette. In the beginning, Ed summons her in, and she says, "You sure? I might punch you too." Hot. Hot. Also, when she hears about Tom buying specifically 2 tickets to a show and flowers, Lynette's default is that there needs to be an explanation. Now, it could be denial, but it's also classic, like, logical Lynette. She doesn't really jump to conclusions very often. Something else. We're bringing it back. Last season, Tom had a conversation with his dad.
Yeah.
Which heavily implied he had either been having an affair or keeping something massive from Lynette that he was incredibly worried that she would find out about. We're just bringing that back now. Let's just bring that back in. And also, it was in Atlantic City. Tom comes back into the office after hours to get his stuff, I'm guessing with a bit of dignity, hoping he doesn't bump into Ed, etc. Fred. So sorry. Do you want me to do that again?
Yeah.
Okay. Tom comes back in after hours to keep some dignity about him, presumably not to run into Fred. Lynette is fishing for the real reason that the punch occurred. But Tom isn't saying anything without a lawyer present. He's gone full, it's fine, don't even worry about it. And he even says, I'll get a job somewhere else. Don't worry, it's fine. Lynette says that he can tell her anything. But he says everything is good and they kiss goodbye and he leaves. But my girl Lynette, it's Lynette, and she rarely lets people walk away when she still has a thought in her head. So she says, out of all of the years that we've been married, I've never known you to lead with your fists. And he says maybe he still has some prizes in him.
Which is ominous. Wild line to say in this moment. Wild choice.
Ominous. And the elevator doors close and Lynette looks concerned. And I think this moment was her trying to give him the opportunity to come clean so she didn't have to jump to the bad conclusion.
Yeah.
And it's not looking good for Tanette.
It is not. Oh,
It's not ideal. But overall, a great Lynette episode, I thought. Like, she really handles herself and carries herself well.
yeah, I would
She's
agree.
my gal.
I enjoyed it.
And
even though it's clearly going downhill, I enjoyed the arc a lot.
yeah, when they start butchering Lynette's character in later seasons, don't worry, you'll hear me talk the other side. But for now, Team Lynette.
Yeah. At the Vandekamp dinner table, Bree asks Andrew if he'd like to bring over Justin for dinner again, since she's having Peter over. And Matthew, however, to Danielle's frustration, is not welcome. Not until Caleb is locked up. Which, from Bree's perspective, I think is fair enough in this moment.
Yeah. Well, again, it's like, yeah, his brother. Actually, Andrew brings up really great points here about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, Andrew takes Bree's side, which starts to make Danielle suspicious. Mm-hmm. When Bree leaves the room, she makes it clear that she does not buy Andrew's ruse, even though he doesn't let his guard down in this moment.
I think Danielle is the audience in this scene. You know, she doesn't trust Andrew. We don't trust Andrew. We know that even though Bree trusts him, there's something in the milk isn't clean. Did I combine two expressions there?
I've never heard that before, I'll add. Maybe that'll be the first and only on the list of Erin's expressions in the ending season episode.
There's something about a fly in the milk, and there's something about something in the milk isn't clean. Anyway, milk. So, Peter and Bree are on the phone, and he is clear he isn't going to directly lie about his alcoholism if it comes up in front of the children. Bree is saying, okay, but can you not tell them about the sex addiction thing? And Andrew walks by. Guess what? Andrew's picked up the phone and he is logging in. He's listening to the whole thing. Ba-ba-ba-bam.
We then see Andrew making a proposal to Danielle. He's sort of loitering on the porch until Danielle comes home, claiming to have a funny way for her to get back at Bree for not allowing Matthew to join the dinner. That's it. That's the scene. And now we get
The entire scene is crazy.
a great scene.
The entire scene is crazy. This whole arc is crazy. So this is the most uncomfortable scene of my entire existence. And I never want to watch it again for as long as I shall live. They're all having dinner. Justin's there. Andrew's there. Peter's there. Bree's there. Danielle enters. And she comes down in a sexy outfit, or what seemed to be is like her idea of a sexy outfit. To me, she once again is a little girl playing dress up. It's so, I've seen this in films. It's so, I'm going to put my hand on the door so that it feels like she's playing a part. And I suppose that she is, but it also feels like it's really drawing to attention to the fact that Danielle is very young.
Yeah.
Very young. Still very young. I'm still going to say she's very young when she's 18. That's what it is, okay? Peter seems very uncomfortable straight away. And Andrew is acting like nothing is wrong, so that Bree isn't getting any indication that anything is wrong. Danielle is flirting with Peter so hard over salsa. Again, Peter should not be being seduced by a child. So it's weird in general. But I do think I want to give him a little bit of grace here and say whether or I don't think he is into it. I think he is uncomfortable and doesn't know how to raise it.
And it's
In this
wild to
specific
me
scene.
that Bree's just like la 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 in the background as well. When it's she's not being subtle. Also, poor innocent Justin. He's just there for a nice dinner with his boyfriend's family, and he's always just like the pawn in the background, you know.
I know. So, Bree's delighted how well the meal is going. Danielle puts her hand on Peter's leg and starts to bring it up. And Andrew's making all of these innuendos that are meant to be funny. But Danielle is committing full sexual assault, by the way. What are we doing? What are we doing? And Peter abruptly gets up and leaves. Bree's upset he had to go, but Danielle explains that she's sure they made an impression. And, you know, it's weirdly nice to see Danielle and Andrew interact as siblings. Not in this. But taking the plotline out of it, I do think that scenes where the siblings interact make sense because we don't get a lot of them in general throughout the series.
Also worth noting in this scene is when they're discussing things on a surface level. Peter's talking about the college he went to that Andrew's thinking about checking out, and you know, he's saying, "Oh, I can bring you some pamphlets or brochures or something, because if there's something people love in this show, it's a pamphlet."
The written word.
The written word.
The power of the written word.
And that is not the only written word we will get in this episode, but, you know, we'll get there. So, in the next scene, Peter is on his way over with the pamphlets that Andrew is clearly desperate for. But now Andrew is trying to convince Danielle, his teenage sister, to hook up with Peter, a much older adult man, just to get back at Bree for not letting her have her boyfriend over. Insane. And luckily, Danielle agrees that it's also insane. She feels
Bearing
that
in
Bree...
mind-
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, bearing in mind, she's in a committed relationship.
Yeah. And to be fair, Matthew's so evil, he'd probably be on board with Danielle doing this as a way of punishing someone. But that's neither here nor there. Danielle feels that Bree was punished enough at the dinner and essentially tells Andrew to get lost when the doorbell rings.
So I think I could be wrong here. I don't want to go back to us doing all the ages again because we know they fluctuate. But I think Danielle's 16.
I think she's at most 17, but I would agree probably 16. She's certainly not an adult, that's for sure, because Andrew is not even in college yet and he's the older sibling.
No, and I think Andrew's 17 at this point, roughly. Peter comes by to ensure that Andrew got the Perkins College catalogue in time for his tour the next day that we hear about. Peter also apologised to Andrew for leaving so quickly the other evening, explaining that Danielle seemed to be making advances on him and it made him feel uncomfortable. Peter confesses that at one point he slept with a whole lot of people during his sex addiction after Andrew says he knows about it. And Andrew's like, wow, people... gender nooch.
And hey, I will also clock that in a situation. So, yeah.
People. I don't clock that as much. I can sense by someone's energy where they fall on the queer spectrum. But in terms of when they say things, I think because everybody I know now says, you know, pretty gender neutral terminology. I guess I just don't see no.
Then we see Bree come home in the middle of the day. We realize that Andrew has lured her home with a lie about an emergency having taken place. And she finds him, confusingly, shirtless in her bed.
Yuck, the fact it's in her bed as well.
Yeah, and she's confused about this until Peter pops out of the ensuite bathroom in his boxers, and it's clear that Andrew and Peter have had sex. And Andrew has an evil little smirk on his face as he says, "Now we're even." I don't really see the logic of how he's equating things, but sure. I get that's how he feels in this moment.
I think... well, we get into an analysis of it. We've not done this in a while. And we're probably giving, we're getting too much into it maybe. But I think Bree has started to have at least really nice... she's in with Peter. And he feels that... we hear Andrew say that he feels that Bree doesn't love him anymore now that he's gay. So I wonder if the evenness of it is, here is someone that you love or someone that you really like who has had gay sex. Now what?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's not just that I'm an imperfect person because of my sexuality. That's, you know what I mean? I think it's a statement on the sexuality of it all. And do you see this for Brie? Do you see him differently now?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she is going to, because
he's had sex with her child.
And who is underage by American standards. And he is in his 30s, presumably. Also, this is horrible for Peter as someone who's relapsed.
Yeah. I feel like if Peter wasn't literally like an addict in recovery for this, I would be much more upset at him. Do you know what I mean?
I'm still very upset with him.
I'm upset at him, but I feel like if it was just a random partner that Brie had and there was no sex addiction plot line, I would be like, jail, hateless man, da, da, da. Whereas I'm not quite there with it.
Yeah, I'm still like, send him to jail. But yeah, I think this is why Andrew sees is making it even, because again, we've had this, we're having this episode of equality. Matthew is now the one in the basement. Brie is now confronting that someone else that she cares about is gay. But for Andrew, it's someone that she cares about is gay because he doesn't think she cares about him at all.
Yeah. Which is so sad.
I think he thinks in this moment he is taking something from her.
Well, I think we need to talk about the next scene to really get into how Andrew feels about how this has gone down.
Mm-hmm. I still, by the way, I forgot to say, I still think that scene is one of the top 3 crazy things that happens on the entire show.
Damn, yeah. I mean, fair.
Top 3. So Brie is this is top 4.
This scene for me,
Imprinted.
it sticks with me big time.
This scene feels, I know we've had a lot of lads violence. There is a violence in this, an emotional violence in this that is really... Ugh. Brie is going to take Andrew to the college tour. So Andrew gets into the car. Brie does not look like herself at all, and this really should have been a hint for Andrew. She is completely disheveled.
She looks more hungover in this scene than through any of her alcoholism plotline. Not to say she is hungover, but I'm just saying that's the energy she's giving.
I don't think she has... I think if Andrew were not so focused on the fact that he has gotten one over on Brie... He would go, why is my mother, who is all about being prim and proper in appearances, going to a public venue not being completely put together?
Part of me, that to me says that Andrew just doesn't care about Brie very much himself. He's so dissociated from that mother-son relationship that he's just like, whatever, I'm in it for me right now. Do you know
Perhaps.
what I mean?
Brie randomly stops in the middle of nowhere. Brie says how sorry she is, that every child deserves to be loved unconditionally, and I thought that was the kind of love that I had for you. Maybe if I had, it'd be different. And I think Brie's I think Brie and Andrew are hearing different things from that statement. Brie is thinking, if I had unconditional love for you, maybe you wouldn't be being evil like this. He is hearing, I cannot love you unconditionally because you're gay. And that is bouncing off of each other.
Unfortunately.
Brie has packed him money and clothes, and she is leaving him there. And the mask of Andrew that we have seen up until this point completely dissipates.
This might be one of the first, honest moments that they have together in the whole show.
Yeah, he's a little boy. He says, Mum, please don't do this. And it's almost like when he says mum, he's correcting himself, but the mama is so...
ingrained. And
primitive. Yeah, it feels so raw. And I've done that. Where I've been so upset about something and I've been talking to my mum and I've heard myself say mummy. And I don't know where that comes from, but that's a real thing, you know? She says, I can't be around you anymore. I'm just not strong enough. And Andrew then gets aggressive, emotionally aggressive. He says he wins. He cries and explains that he knew one day she would stop loving him and that he was right. Bree says, well, good for you, and doesn't dispute it. This is so hard.
It's so upsetting. Oh my God.
Because on one hand, what was she supposed to do? On the other hand...
Wait, on one hand, what was she supposed to do? Not this.
Oh, no. Not this.
Maybe even Camp Hennessy, I'll accept that at this point.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I understand the choice, not the choice to leave him in the middle of nowhere. Let me be very clear. I understand the choice of she cannot be his parent anymore. She in some way has to give up parental rights in this moment for the good of him, her sobriety, Danielle, everything. I understand that surrender. She has, before this though, gotten rid of his chance at a fresh start elsewhere because with his stepmom and his dad and Bree's, sorry, with his step gran and Bree's dad. She has also cut him off financially. There's
even in season 1 when she like planted drugs in his locker at school and got rid of the possibility of like a sports scholarship and like, you know, all these things that she's been holding him back.
Yeah, I think she's had him painted as a villain in her head for a while now. And I do see how malicious and manipulative and how horrible and like him lying about being sexually abused. These are the most horrific things that, you know, a child can really do. They're also a child crying out for his mummy. I'm not saying that makes any of it okay.
No, yeah.
I'm not condoning any of it. But it feels so like a little boy who just wants his mummy to love him.
It's tough. It's a tough watch. And let me tell you, I've watched the next episode and just it gets tougher.
What do we think is happening for Bree in this moment? Because I think at this point she is learning, or she had learned, to accept a piece of Andrew. And her bringing Justin round was her showing that.
I just think she's so flooded right now with negative emotions that she physically cannot think clearly, and that's why she's like putting in this physical separation because she cannot process anything. I don't think she has thought about how she feels about Andrew particularly or anything. I think she's just so like blinded with emotions right now.
Sorry, let me rephrase because I don't think I explained that properly. Do you think, had Andrew not reacted this way,
as in hooked up with Peter?
Yes. If things had continued as they were at the beginning of the episode, do we see Bree getting more accepting?
Yeah, and I
she's
think,
bringing Justin over multiple times a week.
I think that is exactly what her inviting Justin over the first time was indicating, and which is what makes it so heartbreaking, because if Andrew hadn't been so focused on his revenge, everything could have been great.
I also want justice for Justin, because they're in a monogamous relationship.
You're so right for that. Justice for Justin, episode title.
Stop it with these minor characters getting episode titles.
But the minor ones are so fun.
They do not get Center Vodka Diet Coke. They do not have Center Snowflake. They are not main characters.
They are friends of.
They are friends of. They are... Oh, okay. It's just also, I thought this was an interesting parallel between Betty and Bree's choices, because these women live very similar lives. To which I'm not trying to condone what Bree did. I realize it really sounds like it, but at least Bree is having a free range son.
Now, there's an episode title.
Bree's keeping her children free range.
Oh.
Is that offensive? Probably.
It's funny, though. It's just because it's such a heavy scene, it's like you can't laugh, but inside I'm like, that's funny.
Susan seems excited to be invited over to Mike's, but it's actually Mike introducing his new best friend, Oliver Weston, and also new colleague.
A mentor of sorts.
I genuinely think him and Mike really got along. And the way that I know that is because there's all these Chinese takeaway containers, which means they've had dinner together.
Oh my God, I've not had lunch yet. I'm starving, actually.
I've not had lunch yet either. I'm in between records because we have to have a 10-minute lull because Jakub and I are too cheap to pay out 20 quid a month for Zoom. I had 3 spoonfuls of Nutella to take me home.
You know what? I think I'm going off of overnight oats, which you mentioned Nutella. That's come to mind.
Overnight off.
The only yogurt that made it taste good for me, I could get from Asda, and there's no Asda near me right now.
Why don't you start getting you could get your shopping delivered online.
Just for yogurt? Come on.
Well, for everything, but
Come
the
on, Erin.
yogurt's like a garnish.
What are we doing here? Let's move on.
So
Yogurt as a garnish, episode title.
I really love yogurt. You know my favorite yogurt. It's the white chocolate one. Anyway, so Susan is shocked that Oliver has uncovered the truth so quickly about the affair. And Oliver plays a tape. Susan tries to brush it off, but then the tape gets more obviously condemning. She then tries to awkwardly tell Mike that he was the best sex that she ever had, which we know for a fact is not true.
100%. But also, I just had to roll my eye at that because just in general, in life, I hate the kind of like social thing that a lot of couples do where it's like, oh, we have to pretend that you're the best everything I've ever had just because we're currently together. I hate that. Like, that's just not realistic.
And this is how we find out Jakub's in a relationship and it's not going well.
No, but like, I just feel like it's rare in life to have
You're right.
the truly mind-blowing best ever S-tier hookups. And it's also really rare to find someone that you connect with and can get into a relationship with. And for that to overlap, that's a unicorn relationship.
I think the idea all depends on how you see sexual relationships. Because on one hand, I agree with you. On the other hand, I would say that there are some people who, when they have an emotional connection, that improves it.
You're like,
the
this
point.
gal right here. Hey, it does improve it. For sure. I feel that too. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like it's like you're being offensive if you don't be like, oh no, but you're the best at this. And you're the best. And I'm just like you're like as if your partner would get upset. Is like, how dare you? And I'm like, we've all had lives with other people before we met.
Yes, you've all experienced things with other people.
Yeah, I'm
It's
maybe
like
not
our-
explaining it well, but anyway. That
No,
just
I
annoys me.
think you are. I think I get exactly what you're saying. That you have experiences with people and you can't be everyone's best or first anything.
Yeah.
And to hold on to that like it's a medal it's not going to serve you well in life.
Yeah. Anyway, just needed to get that off my chest.
And I'm glad you did. Because I know that this has been bothering you for quite some time. Sometimes I just say stuff.
So random.
Can't believe we just did that so random. Can't believe we just got a second cat. So random. So Mike is pretending he doesn't care about Carl and Susan when he obviously does. He kicks her and Oliver Weston out. Susan tries to counter-offer Oliver with double what Edie is paying. But she can't afford $2,000 plus expenses, which we all know is at least $3,431.88.
That is accurate. Susan.
That started to show up on my homepage. You know how it shows your frequent websites? It started to be like, do you need
wanna
the
set this as your
USD
homepage?
inflation?
Susan saying
It's
that
bing.com. Sorry.
Susan saying that she has to get into real estate really cracked me up because it really made me wonder if that's what I'll do if I get made redundant.
And what really cracked me up is Susan trying to run away with the tape, but Oliver is not Mike, and he has a copy. Know who you're dealing with. He gives her until Monday to come up with the cash, or it's reveal time. Now, what really bothers me about where this arc goes is that none of this mattered.
Yeah.
Absolutely none of this
It's like
mattered.
they couldn't decide between a comedy arc for this episode. So they were like, we'll just do them all. So
Chuck another one
Mary
in.
Alice voiceover tells us that Susan knew she couldn't afford to pay off Oliver. And that since Edie would find out the truth anyway, she decides to do what every character on the lane either has done or will do over the course of the show.
Unfortunately, it's a canon event.
She writes a note. And we see her writing this letter to Edie, begging for forgiveness. And we see her pop it in the post box as Edie drives by waving at her. And Susan looks sufficiently terrified. And man, I've written a lot of just general relationship thoughts, I think, in general here. But I just think,
I love that.
I think I mean, like over the course of the episode, not, I have just one point
I
for
love
this
that.
moment. But I think that this act of writing a letter in this kind of situation, to me, instead of a conversation, feels very immature. And it's been a while since we've compared Susan to like high school vibes, but I feel like that's what I'm getting from this. That's the kind of way you might break up with someone in high school, and you think you're doing this like right thing by putting all your feelings on paper. Listen, I've noted down what she wrote in the letter later. It's not that deep. It's so like
It's not that deep.
I can't wait to get there, quite frankly. But yeah, anyway,
I think
that's my thought on that.
I think you're so correct, particularly with someone who is your friend, someone who is so about honesty, and someone who you very recently had an altercation with where she said, you could have just told me. Just tell me. It's such a coward's way out. It also, you are not facing the consequences for it.
Yep. And you're like taking away that person's opportunity to respond to you as well. You're like, this is the situation. I don't care for your opinion.
Not to reveal too much of my tea, I have written someone a letter before.
So have I. But I was very young. And I was immature.
I was young, but I made them read it in front of me.
That's cruel.
It was a power move. I wanted to give them the opportunity to provide feedback.
Well, here's why I think it's bad to do that.
It's so bad.
Because
It's so
you get convinced about, you're basically writing out your perspective. And quite often, if you have a conversation, you come to some kind of middle ground. And so they are just boomeranged into your brain. And quite often that simply does not work out well. And it's like, if you'd had a conversation, you might have got into a different place. And it can be quite devastating for someone to get your opinion that you've been overthinking and building up and stuff that quite often is just not accurate to the situation, you know? Does that make sense?
Yes. I also think, baby, get a journal. Get a journal. Write it out for yourself in a way that is honest and you get
I
those
just think
emotions out.
journaling does not work out for me because I will just gaslight myself over time. I need to talk it out and have someone's input.
I do get that because I have tried keeping journals and diaries several times in my life. I've had more than several. And I will write the first day and realize that it feels so inauthentic to talk to myself and be like, I was kind of feeling like a bagel today. And I'm like, but not really. Like, that's a bit much. It's a bit intense for what that emotion was. So you're lying.
Yeah.
So you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
I can't do it. But yeah, why are we still writing? I genuinely think, I know that Mary Alice says it was heartfelt, but if this were set today, Susan would have used ChatGPT and used a prompt on how to make it heartfelt.
You're so right on that. And you're going to hear how unheartfelt it was when we get there.
To be fair, there's not a lot going on in Susan's noggin.
There's not.
There's not a lot there. Not a lot of material. Mike comes over to Susan's house and she is scared to answer the door because she is worried that Edie is coming. Mike spoke to, again, actually, that kind of just takes me to what we were saying again. It's like such a cowardly way out. Mike spoke to the PI and paid him off.
Honey, how much are plumbers making?
He paid that man $4,000.
And he's like, no biggie. Okay, daddy. Suddenly I'm more attracted to Mike again.
He paid him over $7,000.
That's mad.
Do we think he sold off his Cineworld card?
No. I simply
But
don't
if-
believe it.
If
I
we never
cannot
see
believe
him,
that.
if we don't see him in the cinema again, we'll know.
I have absolute confidence and faith that the cinema will come up again. Even if we don't see him there, he'll mention it.
Yeah, he will. So once Susan realised that she's kind of... the White Knight has come to save her, she then spots the mailman Gus across the street and realises she has to get there and get the letter before it's delivered to Edie.
Yes. So in this moment of panic, she hatches a plan and quickly fills up a jug of iced tea and invites the mailman in, basically Gus, who I do recognize from stuff. I couldn't be bothered Googling it. He's in a bunch of stuff.
He's the super in the building in Friends. So he's the one that...
Yes! Oh, you're so right.
I didn't have to look it up. He does the ballroom dancing with Joey. I was like, I know that voice.
Yes. Okay, I'm glad you put that in my brain. So inside over the iced tea, Susan acts like they're best friends, even though we find out he's only been her mailman for a few weeks. Susan is plowing him with iced tea, making overly fake and friendly small talk, essentially trying to get him to need the bathroom, so that he goes and she can go through the mail. But this mailman, however, seems to have a bladder of steel. And Susan
Couldn't
needs
be
to
me.
work harder. Couldn't
Couldn't
be
be me.
She says that it's such a long route. It's better here than Mrs. McCluskey's hydrangeas. What was that comment, Susan? Where did that come from? That's crazy. Why are we coming for Mrs. McCluskey's gardening?
But also, I thought she was implying that he's going to need to go so badly that he will then just pee on Mrs. McCluskey's garden.
I was
As if that's
assuming he
a
has
normal
no
comment.
professional
Also,
whatever. Yep.
she talks about how long of a route it is. This is a very small street. It's a very small cul-de-sac.
He probably has more than one lane.
No.
They don't have a postman per street, Erin.
Yes, they do. Because everybody in Wisteria Lane just spawns.
As soon as
It
he leaves the
spawns-
lane, he just...
It's like From.
Yeah.
He comes back in. He loops back in.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and yeah, if anyone has been keeping up with Jakub and I's watching of From, we have watched the finale. We've sent a lot of messages to each other.
It was a flop, you guys. We will not be making a bonus episode about it, I suspect.
We're not converting to a From
No.
podcast.
Much to all of yours delight, I'm sure. So eventually he relents and she sends him not to the bathroom right downstairs, but where he is, but to the upstairs bathroom by her bedroom. And we know this is so that she has enough time to go through the mail, but we can see on Gus's face that he's picking up a different vibe. So he goes upstairs and Susan gets her letter back.
Guess what? Susan goes back upstairs to check on the mailman, and he is in her bed, ready to deliver something, but it is not post. I really did like that he asks if she would like him to keep the hat on. I really did like that.
He knows what fantasy women have.
There was a part of me that thought if I were interested in taking the mailman off of the street, I do believe
Commit
that
to the bit. Keep the hat on.
commit to the bit.
Yeah.
You can leave your head on. Please tell me you know that song.
No. Well, at least
Okay.
not from your rendition.
Oh,
Yep.
that was Shady Shady Married Lady.
Adding
That's
that to the
also-
list of Erin's sayings.
That's not a saying. So Julie comes home wondering what on earth is going on because she sees Gus the mailman's bag. She's going, is the mailman here? He then starts to panic putting clothes on. Susan says she's going to have to take a rain check. She doesn't reject him. Take a rain check. He can come by on Tuesday, but she can't do Tuesday
This is my
because
quote of the week.
that's the day. That's the day she becomes a lesbian.
Happy Pride. It was so
Happy
out of
Pride.
pocket. I was howling.
Julie, the vampire slayer, does her duties appropriately, and she likes her ex-stepmom, so she's making sure that her stepmom gets her mail. What really annoys me is that Susan even left that piece of mail within reach, because she was waiting for so long. I would have immediately threw it under the sink. I would have burned
Ripped
it.
it
I would
up.
have
Yeah,
something.
Jeez.
Rip. Yes, that's all I have on this.
I am obsessed with this last scene, well, before the final voiceover, but it is so good.
It's so good.
Edie grabs her mail at night and she's reading the letter. This is what I could see that the letter says. Did you read it?
I read the first 2 lines, I think.
Yeah,
The first
so
line.
I don't even know how to begin this letter, but I'll start by asking that you please forgive me for what I'm about to tell you. I'd also like to emphasize that this is all Carl's fault. The truth is, I slept with Carl while you were still together. I know what I did was terrible. However, I only did so after he told me he had broken up with you because he was in love with me. I know
Can you
this
say
letter.
the beginning? Oh,
Sorry?
Can you say the beginning of the first sentence again? The second sentence. The sentence you just said again.
I know what I did was terrible.
Stop.
However,
I know what I did. It makes me sick, but it wasn't my fault.
Yes, I'm the reason your relationship with Carl ended. There, I said it. That's not much of an apology, babe. She's like, hey, forgive me. I did all this bad stuff. Also, I'm taking no accountability. Soz. Peace out. That was crazy. That was not heartfelt. That was not thought through. That was not deep. That was not authentic. That was pathetic, Susan.
It's very, I'm the victim. I think if she'd gone into it saying, a conversation, she went to Edie's door and she went, this information is going to come out. And I don't want to hurt your feelings because you and I have had a very complicated relationship, but we've built something really nice. Frankly, you have been a great stepmother to Julie. I can see that you guys get along really well. I would like that relationship to continue in a kind of cordial, nice way, no matter what happens here. I think that Carl has exploited my feelings for him a little bit, but if I'm being really honest, I shouldn't have jumped into bed with him when I thought you guys were engaged. And I shouldn't have been keeping this whole thing alive with being married to him and whatnot and leaving you out of it in multiple occasions. I am really sorry. I'm coming to you because I really value your friendship. Where was all of this? Actually, I've got a real world example of this.
Ooh.
And I love this story. I'm going to change all the names. So, my friend Louise. Her name's not Louise. Although I've used a fake name Louise before. Maybe we're building a canon. Louise was married to this man called Gus. I'll use Gus because Gus the mailman. And he started to have feelings for her friend, who we will call Brenda. And he told her that him and Brenda had a thing going. She was devastated. They separated. Brenda showed up to Louise's house with a 12-pack of beer, saying there's nothing going on between me and this person, but I think you and I should go to the beach, drink this beer, and talk this out. And basically was like, maybe I flirted a little bit with this person, maybe, and I shouldn't have. That's definitely what I've never entertained anything further than that. I do not have feelings for this person. I will not speak to this person ever again. You are my priority. And basically they were there for hours and they were up all night.
That's
and
how you do
I
it.
respected it so much.
Susan, take notes.
They're still friends.
Incredible. We see a few things now. We see Edie's hand crush this letter slowly. We see Susan turn up to Mike's with a thank you pie and gets invited in. We see Edie slinking in the shadows in a cunty villain outfit that is 1,000,000% my outfit of the week. It's this giant fur collar that is giving like the witch from Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe. We can see from her expression and just feel from her vibe that a switch has flipped, something has cracked, Edie has been activated.
Edie has been activated.
100%. We see Edie open up Susan's garage door, enter her home with a watering can of petrol, presumably, or gasoline, whatever, and burn her house down. And I bet that this was a wild episode of Julie the Vampire Slayer as she wakes up in a burning house, because Edie clearly gave no thought as to check if Julie was home. Insane.
I like to think that Edie knows where Julie is. She has been her stepmother for a while. She kind of roughly knows her schedule.
I don't think she's herself in this moment, though. And so over at Mike's, Susan tells him that she knows he still cares about her, and they're having a moment, and it's like, oh, we don't even need to get back together. I just want to be friends with you again, yada, yada, yada. But it's cut short.
Which is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. She is like putting her hands around his face and leaning forward to kiss him. And it's like, I don't even want to get back together.
I just want to be friends.
I just want to be your friend.
Hey, Susan's better at flirting than me, so I can't complain about it.
No, she's not. Because then she weirdly feeds him the pie. And it makes me want to throw up.
However, this moment, whatever you want to call it, is cut short as Mike sees the fire from his window. She runs out and freaks out, and her first thought is not, oh my God, is Julie okay? No mention of Julie as her house burns down. And I don't think that Julie is at Carl's, because she suddenly appears in the final voiceover as it's burning, and Carl does not live on the lane anymore. So it's not like she could have walked over from Carl's. So I think she was home.
I don't think she was home. I really don't. I think that Edie burned the house knowing Julie was in it.
I don't think
is
she
one
knew
thing.
Julie was in it. I just don't think she considered it.
Oh, I think she considered it. And also the fact that Susan didn't say anything about Julie. I don't know. I just get the sense Edie's been watching from the window for a while, and she waited until Susan was gone. And I wonder if she'd already waited and seen Julie was gone, then saw Susan was gone and was like, let's go.
Well, there's simply no way to know.
Whereas Susan let Edie's house burn down knowing Edie was still in it.
And potentially Mike.
And some guy.
Yeah.
So, Mary Alice voiceover. When the truth is ugly, people try to keep it hidden because they know if revealed the damage it will do. So they conceal it with sturdy walls, or they place it behind closed doors, or they obscure it with clever disguises. But truth, no matter how ugly, always emerges, and we see the fire trucks approach the lane. And someone we care about always ends up getting hurt. And we see the girls, and we see Susan, and Mike, and Julie, and someone else will revel in their pain, and that's the ugliest truth of all. And it cuts to Edie sipping her drink, watching, like Cersei Lannister watching the Sept burn down.
That's the perfect comparison. Oh my God.
It's an identical scene. I actually think that Game of Thrones writers were inspired by this moment. And she's so in the fur jacket, and she doesn't give a shit anymore.
And there's like so many big moments in this episode that it could have ended on. This was correct. Loved it.
The fact that we spoke about the Applewhite's arc first and Matthew being locked in the basement was not the cliffhanger of the episode. But this is why the pacing of season 2 is so off, because so many moments in this episode would have been great cliffhangers for previous episodes.
Yep. And it's a nice mirror though as well for the pilot episode, how it ends with both of them.
Yeah.
The houses burning down.
Yeah. And it's just in the kind of the symbolism of the house being burned down, and now Julie can't, and like her house is unprotected from being, she can't invite anyone in. It's a whole thing. Wait, wasn't there a thing? Am I making this up in Buffy where the house was like bought? No, this was in the Vampire Diaries. So obviously vampire lore is you have to be invited in, and sometimes it's by the person that owns the house. And there's an episode in the Vampire Diaries where the house is bought over by like the historical exchange people. And so the vampires can get in and they don't know that. And they're like, actually, technically, the house has been bought over. And they just... And I love the rules of that.
Incredible.
We can cut all of that out. Well, at least cut out the bit where I'm talking about Julie the Vampire Slayer.
We'll see how much editing energy Jakub has at this point.
So true, Bessie. So true. So worst neighbour is Edie. Because you can't just go down burning people's houses.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that, unfortunately. I don't want to give Monster of the Week to Matthew again because we just did it last week and it's kind of for the same arc or whatever, so that's been established.
My Monster of the Week has gone from unethical adoption, it's now unethical surrogacy.
That's fair. I think I'll give it to... there's so many potentials this week. I'm going to give it to Carlos because, I think just everything you said about him not learning his lessons from his crimes in jail and stuff, that really hit me when you said that. I was like, you're so right, bestie.
Well, we jump straight into husband rank and start with Carlos.
Yeah. Interesting for Carlos, though, because he was awful, but he was not like bad husband for the most part.
Oh, yes, he was.
Not like
you don't think
awful, not to the degree that we're like, oh, he's a bad person. Do you know what I mean? The way we've been talking about him, it's like 0, 0, 0. But from a husband perspective, he's below 5. He's not a 0, though,
Are you all right? You're looking at another woman naked and not coming to get me? And she's in our bed and you're staring at her?
I think that's gross, especially for Zhao Mei. Gabby didn't even seem that bothered, though.
I think he's still bad husband. And then
yeah, sure. So we'll knock him down a point for that. So we're on 4.
Yeah, and then he's masturbating over his housekeeper, who is being their surrogate for the baby that he has pushed Gabby to want.
And that's absolutely disgusting. I don't think that's a husband-related thing, though.
I mean, I think it's a husband. I personally think it's a husband.
Fair. I mean, I'm happy to put him down more for that. Like, I'm not going to fight that battle.
It's still, if he was just masturbating over his housekeeper and he wasn't married to Gabby, I wouldn't be thinking he's a horrible person necessarily. But he is doing it while married to Gabby, after while he's trying to make a baby with her, a baby that he's pushed her into.
I would say 3 personally. I could be talked into a 2. Definitely not a 1.
Crazy. This might be our biggest husband number.
Well, why do we
separation.
put 2?
Okay, fine.
Carlos is 2. Okay. All right.
That's crazy.
I think
though.
Tom is tricky because it's very much implied he's having an affair, but nothing has been confirmed at this time. So I don't know how to rank that. Do you know what I mean?
I would say he's still keeping secrets from his wife. He's still putting his job on the line on purpose. He purposely punched Ed to get fired. He isn't telling Lynette the truth about it. We know he's keeping money and secrets from her around money. I don't know. I think that's quite low. I feel like that's a 3.
Yeah, I'd give Tom a 3, fair. But are we putting him up at all for the good dynamic that he had with Lynette early? Oh, that's including that. Okay. Sure.
Here's my thing, right? Don't lie to me.
But the thing
Just don't lie to me.
Is it confirmed he's lied, though? Or does it just look bad for Tom in this moment? I'm like, do we wait until the ball drops to drop him for lying?
It's not confirmed he's had an affair, but he's still lied to her face that there was nothing going on when we know he has been using his expenses for things that are not expenses. We know he has been buying flowers and buying tickets for something. So even though the affair part isn't confirmed, the lie is confirmed.
Fair. Okay. Are we ranking Mike again? Because he's kind of getting...
That's quite fun.
I think we've got to bring Mike back into the fold at this point.
Okay.
And I want to say he definitely gets a point for paying off the detective guy.
Which didn't matter in the end.
Not.
Susan has wasted Mike's money by writing that letter. She wasted his money. She wasted, by today's standards, $7,000 of his money.
Jesus. Okay. So, but in any case, Mike gets a point for that. I want to deduct a point for the punch, but that's not really a husband thing. So,
And also, it's more that he just jumps to punching that annoys me. However, if a man was taking pictures of me and was talking about me in that way and Rory punched him, I'd think it was quite hot.
See, I don't think I would. I think I would be like, well, what else are you going to punch for? And that would make me stressed.
You're like, huh, this is a pattern of behavior.
Well, it is for Mike.
It totally is. Do you think the problem is that there's just so many Rocky films, and every time he punches someone, he's got to see one of those Rocky films? Is that the issue?
Quite possibly. Maybe it's a good thing if he gives up his Cineworld card.
He's fresh out
He's
of
in
Rocky
a timeout.
Balboa.
They've cut him off.
You've been cut off. I also wonder, are we assuming he's stopped dating that woman?
I think, did he not say that, oh, that was like nothing or whatever? I reckon a 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
He could have a 6.
Is that everyone? Who am I forgetting? Yeah, Bree doesn't have anyone right now.
There's Carl, but Carl's not there.
Yeah.
Bree doesn't have anyone because she decided to date her sponsor, which was a mistake, and he decided to sleep with her son, which is a crime.
Say that again.
And that's what I can't wait until we get, after a couple of seasons, this gets stale for us and we're like, children ranking. Baby Penny, 2.
She cried in that episode too long.
Yeah, couldn't help it anywhere. I think we're gonna have to tell people when we start doing video episodes that my cat is here, and I don't just
pet the side of your desk randomly.
I just love the side of my desk. My desk is made out of velvet. Yeah, no, that was fun. I liked this episode.
It was great, and the next one's a banger too. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for listening to this one. Thank you for subscribing to the Patreon if that's you. Thank you for just staying desperate with us, besties.
And I love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out our Instagram for visuals, behind the scenes content, and more.
You can find us by searching for Modded, that's MEWDYD.
Or just search for Mary Alice, What Did You Do?
This podcast is brought to you entirely by us, Erin McGee
and Jakub Tanzi. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out.
Join us next time for another episode of Mary Alice,
What Did You Do?